It's an RBI triple for Terang. On the ground, this should do it. Willie Adames fumbles with it and now fires across in time for the out to end the game. And Trevor McGill gets the last 3 outs, 3 up and 3 down, and the Brewers win in San Diego.
Why? Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Never been in a fight. You? No, but that's a good thing. No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight? I don't want to die without any scars. So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
Coming over tonight. Hell right. Everybody's slowing down on a Friday night somewhere.
See, that's the difference between us. You think we're fighting, and I think we're finally talking.
Mike Heller is hell right a lot of times about a lot of things, but he and I disagree vehemently on certain issues, such as instant replay. Let's see if he and I agree or disagree on the pitch clock walk-off that happened over the weekend between the Rockies and the Nationals. I saith, Mike, it was a grade A clusterfuck tragedy.
Wow.
Joke and a travesty. A travesty that this is allowed to happen. And our guy, Lumberjack Ben Yount from across the hallway, ISN, said the same thing. He hates the pitch clock.
Pissed.
This is stupid. They need a rule to the rule, which is, and I'm pro pitch clock in general, Mike Heller, but if it's a tie game or the bases are loaded, we're going to turn the clock off. Good morning. What's your stance?
Well, you can't turn it off. You're
Why not?
Gonna turn it off?
So turn it off in the playoffs.
Turn it off so it doesn't lead to the end of the game.
You're going to turn it off in the 8th inning?
No.
In a 1-1 game in the 8th inning and the bases are loaded with 2 outs? And
because that's not the end of the game, Mike Heller.
Oh, I see.
If the game could end on the pitch clock is off. Do you want this in the playoffs?
No, I don't want it in the playoffs. You know,
happen.
Steve, we've had the pitch clock. This is the second full season of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time you've had this. And to me, that's on the pitcher. That is a pitcher error as it would be a hitter error. They do it for every damn at bat. They've done it for a year and 1/2 of a season of games, and you've never seen it happen before.
So you're under the guys.
So it's history, Zabe.
It is history. It was history.
It's overreaction to say turn the clock off. Okay. It's a pitcher mistake, no?
It is. But rules are rules. No. But they're stupid. This was a stupid way to determine a ball game. If you're a fan, do you want to see the game end that way?
It is a stupid way, but so you're just going to say to the
I'm just going to turn the clock off when the game could be decided by the clock.
Oh, so what are you doing? You're doing it in the top.
What do you mean? What am I doing?
Inning?
The rules can be anything you want them to be.
Saying, are you doing it in the top of the 9th inning? Game can be decided there too.
Well, then okay, 9th inning, it's off.
So you just shut it off in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
Okay.
The point of the pitch clock was what? To
pace of play.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not to ensure any kind of different dynamic on the field itself. It was not to alter the actual gameplay. It was literally just to speed things up.
And it's done a fantastic job.
It has. And I'm a fan. Although I don't think they needed to speed it up further this year. Last year's clock was fine.
Hey, look at that. We found common ground.
There you go. Last year's clock was fine. I would have even added 5 seconds. Because that would have been fine. That would have put games in the 255 range, which I think is the right volume of product for the in-person audience that goes to the game.
Look at us agree.
I know we're agreeing big time.
On here?
Not me.
Something's not healthy.
I know. So if you saved all this time with the pitch clock, innings 1 through 8, let's take our time.
Yeah.
In the ninth.
Okay. So here's what I would say. I don't think you're totally wrong here, which is weird for me.
I heard you to say that.
I think that you're totally wrong.
But you listen to how much it pains Mike Heller to even say
it's
that.
It's a little painful because I'd rather fight with you. But I don't think you're wrong. Although the mechanics of it, because then managers and baseball people are going to say, listen, the game's hanging in the balance with 2 outs in the 8th inning and the go-ahead run at third base. Why are we're just doing this in the 9th?
And my answer would be yes.
And we're doing it for the full 9th inning.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Top of the 9th, the leadoff hitter in the top of the 9th. And
we don't need to save our time in the ninth inning. It's not going to lead to much. Or make it a very generous pitch clock that is another 10 seconds longer, so you don't have to rush to beat it.
Right.
It's a tight pitch clock. Would you agree?
It is. I would again agree with you in why they moved it up this year. They didn't need to, because that's where we would find the most common ground. I think the right time for a game, full length game, is somewhere in the 245 to 250 range. They went to 240 last year, and then they were shortening it to make it 235 this year. I think 235 is too quick. Okay. I think 235 works on television, but it doesn't work if I paid $82 a ticket to go sit in the stands, and 2 hours and 5 minutes later,
it's over.
Actually, an hour and 45 minutes later, they cut off beer sales, and 2 hours and 5 minutes later, I'm walking out the door because it's a well-pitched, well-played 2 hour and 8 minute game is no fun.
Also, people go to games to meet up and say hi to friends they haven't seen in a long time in the concourse. So you kind of need that time. All right. You had a good question on Twitter, which is more fun to watch?
I got to hold 1 second. Can I add one more layer to the baseball conversation? Because I've been kind of tapping on this for the last couple of weeks. And I want to see where you stand on it. In AAA, they allow pitchers and catchers or the hitter on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They do. It's an experiment, just 3 days a week, that the pitcher or catcher or the hitter can immediately dispute a ball strike call. They can't wait for the bench. They can't wait for somebody to look at, was it in the K zone or not? But a hitter on a pitch can immediately tap his helmet.
Say, yo.
Yep. And
check
they go to that, tennis review. They show it on the big screen. They show it on the TV, and it shows it. Well, no, it was indeed a ball, or no, it indeed was a strike.
Who determines it on replay, the machine or a human?
The machine.
Then I'm all for. Then believe it or not, I'm all for this replay.
Okay. And you get 3 missed challenges. Once you exhaust your 3, you're going to use them judiciously, right? Not using them in the second inning on a 2-0 pitch with nobody on base.
Listen, I'd be for that because it's quick and it's machine determined.
Something's wrong. There's something
that we're
wrong.
agreeing to that I'm doing this.
On everything, Josh. Can you interject?
Mike, you still believe you get 3 of them.
But you still believe
3 misses?
Yeah.
Only 3 misses. If
but
you get them right,
10 correct?
Yeah.
My main problem with the other kind of replay in football, which has ruined the sport,
here we go,
is that it takes way too long, and a human still makes the call at the end of the day, and the torturous non-correct overturns and upholds because the human being doesn't want to do this or doesn't want to do that are a joke at times.
Because they're still judgment calls. And in baseball, they're pretty much finite. I mean, they're tangible. You can see them.
It's like Cyclops in tennis.
Right? Yeah, correct. So all those, like even the ball strike. Now, the technology could be screwed up. But I agree with you even on that side. In the football, the review process is painful because the announcers and even the official in the booth typically end up getting it wrong because there are so many subjective elements.
It's all a sea of grays. It's not black and white. Yeah. And also, I would say that, in baseball with a ball strike, that's the only thing happening at that moment in the game itself.
Right. Correct.
Was it in the strike zone or not? In football, as you're looking at one part of a play of 22 bodies running around willy-nilly, committing all kinds of infractions and penalties, it seems stupid to me to look at one.
Yeah.
But that's what we got. Okay. Let's stop agreeing and let's start fighting here.
Tracker
swimming. About damn time.
It's swimming. Swimming is the beating heart of the Summer Olympics. That's my take. I'll stand on that one.
Well, I think track are perhaps, like, athletically, they're the greatest specimens on the planet. Like, just
track and field athletes.
Well, we're talking about nothing else just measures the athleticism like that. It's the fastest man or woman in the world.
True.
Right at that whatever
but
distance
they're
that
built
is.
For speed.
Correct. That's what I don't know if they can do anything else. Ronaldo,
speed or endurance.
Yeah.
Or throwing a javelin, or a shot put, or a discus, or a hammer.
Yeah. I mean, who throws hammers or javelins anymore? Kari, we were looking at it last night watching, and she goes, "I can't believe javelin is still a sport.
Still a thing. So dangerous. That thing is flying.
Yeah, have
through
the catching.
The air.
Have the javelin catching. Yeah, now we're talking. Right.
Have you guys seen the viral clips that are out there of officials getting javelined?
Sure.
By not looking?
Yes,
Butchie?
yeah. Like, that's just wrong on every level. Like, we don't need that.
You know why? Like,
I would rather have more Hawk Tour right now than to see that. You know what I mean?
Here
And
we
I'm
go.
done with Hawk Tour.
I was gonna say, who doesn't want more Hawk Tour?
All right, so around the horn, what do you like to watch more, track and field or swimming at the Olympics? I'm more swimming, but I'll watch both. Heller, you are what?
I would go track and field, but the reason I would maybe side with you on swimming is that the finishes are essentially like track and field, but in slow motion. Like, you can see somebody starting to catch up.
Yes.
And you can't notice it nearly as much, or it happens much quicker in a 400 or even the 100 or 200. But when they're swimming, it happens slower. And I agree, Dan Hicks and Rowdy Gaines they're
great.
They love it. They are fantastic.
Swimming is a sport that is almost designed to always be super close because the margins are so close.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ian Thorpe or Michael Phelps and you're going to crush the field with a particular stroke.
The drama is slower to build.
Butchie,
so I like it.
Team track or team swimming?
It's swimming.
Your team swimming. Josh, team track or team swimming?
I think I'm team track.
Okay.
And I think I'm team track for the reason you just said. I hate watching swimming and seeing that it's so close to where I'm going, who won?
You're right.
You know, like, I got to wait to see the screen to see who they say came in first. I feel like I have a better chance of, as a viewer, being able to pinpoint the runner whose head was, you know, just enough in front of their opponent.
Did any of your children swim competitively, Mike?
They all swam, but none of them got high school. They swam competitively in the summer, you know, on their local teams. Every Saturday you're at a swim meet that takes 11 hours.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Yeah. Butchie, do you think your kids will swim competitively?
God, I hope not.
What if Megan says, I want to get them into, swimming, or they really like it and they're good?
Oh yeah, you should know me well enough. All I want in my life is for my kids to be happy, whatever.
Happy, well adjusted, with a good sweat equity,
so if they want to
work
swim,
ethic.
hey, swim. If they want to ride horses, go ahead. Like, whatever it might be.
Daddy's
I mean,
gotta
swimming takes
I know.
swimming takes incredible discipline.
Budget.
Incredible discipline. You got to wake up early and get wet. In cold pools, just exhaust yourself.
Yeah.
But you bond with your teammates. You get in great physical shape.
Yeah.
But
a Saturday swim meet when they're kids, you get them to the pool and get a tent set up at 6 in the morning.
You wait all
you're going to
day
be
for
there
your
until
kids' race.
2:30 in the afternoon, and they're going to race 2 races.
The joke is if a doctor says you've only got
Michael.
The joke is the doctor says you've only got 3 hours to live. Go to a swim meet. You'll live forever.
And Mr. Heller has done that many times.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you said your kids did not swim competitively?
Not in high school, but they did the summer teams every Saturday for all those years for the Middleton Gators.
Well, so this is part of the problem of the modern sports parent, that they go to these events. They should drop their kids off.
Why is that a problem? Hold on.
No, because then I had to be a timer or a starter
or God forbid, a referee.
Runner.
My former radio colleague, Scott Lynn, would chronicle his times being a certified swimming referee, and he would have to disqualify kids for illegal strokes.
I wouldn't
and
know
he said
what
it broke his heart. He said it broke his heart, but somebody had to call the balls and strikes. Somebody has to call the balls and strikes of swimming.
Why does he have to be the
because they needed a parent volunteer. They don't have money in these suburban swim clubs.
What if you don't call it out and you just let every kid swim, then you get off of it.
But you knock it off. What are you just only giving orange slices?
But
for this, yes, so that I don't have to do it. Absolutely. You do it bad. If you do it bad, they're not going to have you do it because you're a volunteer.
But you say it's just simple. Just call it the way you see it. You're looking at a kid who looks up at you with doe eyes that are all chlorine stained, blood red, sad as can be because you said, Johnny, that was an illegal breaststroke. You're disqualified. And then you got the parents. What are you talking about? That was an illegal breaststroke. I wouldn't wish being a swimming referee on anybody after hearing the tales from my colleague.
Referee for anything.
Yeah. Brewers
tough out there.
Brewers lose 3 of 4. Great outing yesterday again. Tobias Myers' 4th straight win. Big 5-run second for the Brewers. And here come the world champs to town.
Yeah,
Rangers.
Texas Rangers coming in. They're 37-40, by the way. So they
Struggling.
have been kind of moshing their way through the. The Brewers I think they're one of 4 teams, right, that haven't lost more than 3 games in a row. It's really impressive when you played half a season and haven't had a 4-game losing streak. Because
That
on
is
Wednesday,
incredible.
the Brewers will be at 81 games, half the year,
Mhm.
and they haven't lost 4 in a row. They
Gosh,
and it's
that's crazy.
because. For me, it's because they do it in so many different ways. Like yesterday, it was all the old term punch and Judy hitters that was doing all the work. I mean, they weren't hitting home runs yesterday. They were slapping singles and doing little stuff, but they can steal bases. They can play great defense. They can get a bunt down, and they can hit 3-run homers. This team they're not immune to a 4-game losing streak. Odds are they're going to have one, maybe a 5er. However, because they do it in so many different ways, they've been really good so far. The lead in the division is 5. Josh's favorite Cardinals are creeping up. They won 7 of 10. They keep winning. So they're creeping back into it. But the Brewers have been so far really resilient.
So Wednesday is game 81. It's the dead halfway point, right?
Yeah,
Wednesday
that's
is
that
also
Nooner Day.
Nooner Day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to burden Kuhn and Billy and Armin with this, but if the Brewers, God forbid, tank in the second half of the year, they're going to have to absorb people claiming it was Nooner Day.
Well, hold on a second. Are you trying to pass off the jinx that apparently you put on them last week? I had a little birdie notify me that you sent
Jinx of the Brewers?
Jinx. Yeah.
Why, by
Last
looking
Thursday
at the
or Friday.
POF?
I don't know all the details.
it was
How did I put the jinx?
Because you said this team is doing so good right now that there's not one player on this team that if they got injured would be detrimental
Would tank
to the team.
season.
Yep.
Yes, I did say that.
Yeah,
You threw the injury
and then
bug
you
out.
tried to throw the jinx at Nooner Day if they were to tank.
Well, I
second
think
half,
there's
that would
some
be-
jinx at Nooner. I think if we're going to be honest, though, I mean, there's probably some validity to what Zabe's saying there.
I'm pre-qualifying Nooner Day for a jinx approval loan, which could, in fact, be activated only if the back half of the season goes poorly. But I don't believe the back half of the season.
I don't think they've
will
lost
go
on Nooner
poorly.
Day, right? I mean, I think they're undefeated.
Are they undefeated on Nooner Day?
Butchie might know, right?
Okay.
I have
well,
no idea.
Well,
okay. So
I know
here's-
I was there, but I don't know.
you don't know that. How drunk were you?
So the big question is then, who would you trade? Who would you trade of the young guys if you were going to trade somebody to get some pitching, which is harder to find than a pure woman in a Texas whorehouse?
Oh, hey, so it's the young guy who would get you the most in return, and for me, that's Ben Sal Frelick. And somebody will say, "Well, why not Garrett Mitchell?" Because Garrett Mitchell hasn't proven himself to be healthy and productive. And
nobody's
you're not
horny for
trading
Mitchell.
Churio.
Yeah,
You're
nobody's
not-
horny for Mitchell.
There's
Churio and Yelich obviously off limits.
Right. And Blake Perkins, I don't think brings enough in return. He might be a really good throw-in piece, but Sal Frelick would be the painful piece in order to get a frontline starter with some control.
Okay.
In return.
Let me play optometrist. Which one's better, A or B? A or B? If you had to trade either Frelick or Adames, A or B? I would trade Adames as much as it would hurt because he'd bring you more, and you're not likely to have him after this year.
Well, but there's a significant clubhouse hurt. We've experienced that 2 years ago.
I know.
He is the team leader. He is the most popular player on the team, bar none. And he's also been really productive. And he brings you less in return because the receiving team is a rental for them.
But we'd be selling high on him. I believe that now the stock is going to be at a 52-week high on him. So I like selling high. But then it creates a problem because you're sending an infielder away when you need to send an outfielder away.
Well, yeah, and
So it's
point there is
problematic.
who you dealing with? Who's sending you a frontline controllable starter for the shortstop? Because they're in the run, they're renting a shortstop, and they're going to send you a prospect pitcher. The Brewers don't need pitchers that are prospects. They need a frontliner, young guy that they have some control of, and that's why Frelick is the guy that makes the most sense
I know.
to me.
It's probably the White Sox with with their guys. They've got the richest, juiciest young pitching prospects that are in theory gettable, but you better load the boat on a bunch of position player prospects to send back their way.
Right, and it's why Frelick works for a team like the White Sox or a team that's really bad right now. A guy like that really works. Willie Adames probably not, because they're not going to keep him. So I would say if you found the right partner, Rhys Hoskins might be available. Somebody might go, what? You're going to trade? Yeah.
Really?
You could, but again, then you're doing it with a contender on a rental because there's an option for him. To me, it's Frelick, and I don't like it, but to me, of the young assets that brings a fair amount of respect in return, he's the guy.
My opinion changes fully based on who they're dealing with and who we would be getting back in return.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, you throw the right starting pitcher at me, depending on how long we'd have him, sure, then we can have that conversation. But that's what I haven't heard yet. Who would we be trying to get? Who's worth Frelick's value?
Tyler Anderson from the Angels that you just saw last week, the left-hander that shut the Brewers down. Garrett Crochet on the south side of Chicago. Fetty. There are probably 3 or 4 pitchers that are in that
conversation
range, conversation. But the conversation, Josh, probably doesn't happen until after the All-Star break.
Correct.
Because they want to leverage. The selling team wants to leverage against all potential buyers, and they'll do it at the 11th hour.
All right, $20 exit question opportunity for Mike Heller. The Scrubs unveiled a statue for Ryan Sandberg over the weekend. And great player, I get it. Statue, though? Statue for Ryan Sandberg?
Right.
For $20, name the other statues that are there at Wrigley Field.
I would think it's Ernie Banks.
Yep.
I would think it is Billy Williams.
Yep.
Is there one more? How many more?
I'm not telling you for $20.
Okay, well,
there could be 17 more. There could be no more.
It could be Ron Santo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more.
You're missing
Ferguson
one.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Well,
Not
now you
them all.
helped them out because you walked them right up to the number of statues.
$20.
Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Ron Santo,
Wow.
Fergie Jenkins, and now Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah, but
Congratulations.
I'm not going to send you my Venmo. I want that in cash, straight up.
No. You still missed one.
What? Miss anything?
Harry Carey.
Shut up,
You don't
Butch.
get $20.
Oh, you son of a Butch. You son.
Harry Carey's there.
Oh, the story I read just said Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Ron Santo.
Maybe just
and
players.
Fergie
I'm
Jenkins.
pretty sure there's a Harry Carey statue.
Oh, you don't. Oh, now you're pretty sure.
Haven't you listened to the
you're
morning
right.
show and all? Pretty sure counts.
All right. Mr. Heller, is always a pleasure. We'll see you today, noon to 3 on your show. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thanks, guys.
Your show.
What? What am I supposed to call it?